Okay, so this is my first video recording of myself preparing to do a pour. I wanted to share with you the materials that I'm using. First off, I'm using some Liquitex gesso, and I have mixed that with two kinds of silicone. A couple of drops of that, and a couple of drops of this. Here it is. You can see it's in a smallish, I think it's a 4-ounce cup. These are a handy size for these small 12 by 12 canvases. And this one's from Michael's. It's just your very basic academic 1-level canvas. You can see that it's ribbons just a bit, but settles and evens out really quickly. Besides this, what I'm going to be using, I'm going to put that on first and smooth it around with my spatula. This is a really flexible OXO omelet spatula, very handy. I'm using the Deco Art Premium colors here. I've got your dioxazine purple and some yellow medium here, Hansa yellow, and 2 other colors. I can't say that. Quinacedrone, magenta, and cobalt turquoise hue. A little bit of each. I'd say a tablespoon, a little fat tablespoon. And I've mixed those with some pouring medium, Liquitex pouring medium. And they are also just barely ribbony, and you can see that they're less than half full. So, same consistency for all, and sort of equal amounts, I would say, of all. So the first step is to pour the pouring medium onto my canvas. And then I'm going to spread it around with a spatula. Like I said, these spatulas are amazing. Now, the only thing that has the silicone in it today is this right here, the pouring medium. So this is a new experiment for me. Of course, I've enjoyed viewing lots of videos besides, like I said, my first creation of a video here. Let's see how this goes. So I'm spraying this around, trying to get it sort of even on here, and I've got 4 jumbo push pins underneath to support the canvas off the surface of the paper towels on the table. And going all the way to each edge. There will be a little bit of spillage, of course. That's what you would expect with this project, so the paper towels are very handy. And then I have an old recycled shower curtain that I've put underneath here. And those are wonderful for reusing. You can also get real inexpensive ones at your general stores. Now, here we go. Getting it pretty smooth, just making sure that all the surfaces have some, making sure I've gotten the corners. This will get pushed out onto the edges a little more once we get the paints going onto the surface. My name is Sheilah, by the way, and welcome. Besides getting to do this with you, I have been teaching middle school art for 10 years. So it's a wonderful age group to work with. Not without challenges, but they're willing to try lots of things. If you can get them off their cell phones, that is. This is the kind of thing that would get them off their cell phones. Okay, so I don't want to waste any. I'm going to scrape a little off the edge there. Woo! As I spill my paint just a little bit. Luckily, I can recover this. Well, you can see that I'm determined to make a mess here. Oh, look at that already rising up there, though. That was kind of interesting. So I already have the silicone wanting to react, even with the paper towel. So I'm kind of excited to try this particular pour. Like I said, I'm determined to make a mess. What I'm going to do is pour it all into 1 cup. Right here. I'm going to reuse that gesso cup that I had the silicone in, and I'm going to take turns pouring the color. So first I'm going to pour a little bit of the blue in there. Then I'm going to continue pouring a little bit of a few other colors. Next is going to be the pink. So some pink on top. I'm not lifting it very high because I want it to layer up and leave those little puddles in there. Then I'm going to do a little purple. This is the dioxazine purple. I'm not sure if I'm saying that particularly right, but we'll see. I'm going to do the blue-green again, the turquoise again, because I want it to mix with the yellow. We're going to get a lot of interesting colors here because they will all mix together. On top of that, I'm going to go back with the magenta and then just continuing to do interesting blends here to try to get a lot of great variety in my colors. And like I said, this is my first time to do just the silicone in the base surface coat and not doing it in the paint itself. So we'll see how that goes. I'm pretty excited to see it, and we're just moments away from doing that. A little more purple. Gonna go fairly heavy on the purple here. And I have a little leftover yellow, which I may decide to utilize and mix in with a little bit of this blue. Sometimes you have areas that need a little bit of a touch. I've got enough blue to spare a little there. Put a little more in there. Okay, so setting this aside for the moment. Forgot to put my gloves on, so we're just gonna accept dirty fingers today. You can see that I've got layers. You can kind of see through the thing there. A little bit of the gesso still showing. I'm gonna even this up with my paper towels here. And then go for the pour. And I'm just gonna do this. Again, I'm swirling it around just because I like the way that it comes out when I do that. And then I'm going to take my trusty spatula once again and get the rest of this paint out of here. There we go. So I'm curious to see the results of this. Setting that to the side for a moment. Trying not to get any messier than I have to here, which is sometimes a challenge for me. Now, I'm going to start doing a little bit of sliding of this around now. Tilting, tilting. I'm not sure what to expect here. I'm pretty excited. I'll be grabbing the torch in a couple minutes when I get it all spread out nicely where I want it, and seeing what I can do with that to bring out some of this. Hopefully some cells, some beautiful cells in a few minutes. So sorry, tilting away from me there for a second. Trying to sit her back up for a moment as I get ready to tilt to the corners. I like having that underneath layer of gesso on there because it really helps the paint to glide around more freely. It doesn't get stuck in the little grooves of the canvas. I'm loving this color combination, by the way. I'm excited to see what it will do for me in the way of cells because, like I said, I've not done this before. Sorry about tilting away, but I have to get these corners. And I do like it to go down the sides because I like it to be sort of a 3D look. So the paint dripping off the sides is going to happen. That's why the paper towels are there, or whatever else. Newspaper would work. If you get the Sunday paper, that's ideal. You'll have lots of paper to utilize. And for that very reason, I might consider getting that Sunday paper delivered again. Okay, here we go to the corners. This corner still needs a little more, so going back over here. We're still getting some sliding, and I'm liking that. And then we're going to fire up the torch in just a minute and see if we can't get some of that silicone to activate from underneath, because it is only in the lower layer today. So this is what I'm really curious to see. I'm still kind of new to this, but I'm loving what I've created so far. Some of it has been what I would call more successful than others. But when you're learning, there really is no failing. It's just part of the process. So I'm going to dab this just a little bit to get it to pull over here to this corner. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so we have a lot of interesting things going on here. I'm going to grab a paper towel and wipe my hands off because they are absolutely messy. I should have anticipated this and put my gloves on, but I guess I was so excited about doing my first video that I just lost track of what I was doing and wanted to get right into the painting. So don't be like me. My gloves are literally right here beside the paint tubes. And still, I forgot them. All right, so some of the wet paint off of my fingers, at least, and put to the side here. Now let's see what we can do to get this livened up with some wonderful cells popping out. Let me grab the torch, it's right over here. Pardon me for a moment while I step out of view. Now here it is. Again, I'm not sure quite what to expect, so we'll be learning this together today. So here's my torch. It's just a basic little torch. You refill it when you need to. I got this off of Amazon, about 20 bucks or so. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go in here, see what we can liven up here. I'm gonna do a very slow, quick, slow and quick at the same time. Just passing over, popping the bubbles and starting those cells to forming. And I can already see, oh yeah, I can already see we have cells forming here. And that is what I'm after. Like I said, I'm fairly new to this and learning so much every time I do it. Learning some of what not to do, learning some of what to do, which is all part of the process. So I'd say I've passed over it about twice now. We're getting close to that. And then I'm going to back off for a moment and slide this around a little bit more. So shutting that off a minute, facing it away out of the way. And then I love to use skewers for various things here. Right now I'm just using these little wood kitchen skewers. I have a couple of them here. I wipe them and reuse them a while. They're very handy. And I'm going to be tilting my canvas a little bit this way and that to do a little bit more moving. Once you get it warm, it moves a little bit more. I've got a couple of areas I still want to get covered here. So sliding that around just a wee little bit. Trying to get those edges covered as well. Because like I said, I like it to be a 3D. Some people like to have their edges, maybe just paint them black. I think that's just a personal preference. You decide what you like and go with it. Spreading some paint around here, trying to move a little bit. Just a little bit to get some areas that need a little bit more. Now you can always dip over here in the dripped off part and get a little color too. Just try not to blend it too much, because then you lose some of those separate colors that make it so interesting. But I do want to make sure the corners have something on them, so each of them are getting a little attention right now. I guess we all have our pet peeves and what we like and what we don't like, our preferences, I should say. Maybe some pet peeves in there too. Now I can't see the front edge, so I'm going to scoot around there real quick and take a look and see what's going on up there. And, you know, part of it is trying not to screw things up while you're trying to fix them. Got to pay attention to that. That's the last thing you want to do, is screw things up. Or have some happy accidents, I guess you could say. Let's fix that a little bitty bit there. Get some color on it. Make sure that corner's got something on it going on. I like to grab the dribbles off the edge so they're not making too much of a heavy weight there. I really love how some of the white is showing through, and that is from the guest cell. I didn't use any white paint at all, and I'm loving that effect. It sort of gives it a little bit of a balance and a really nice overall look. Okay, dabbing that corner a bit, and this corner a bit. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and it's always a surprise and a delight at this point in my mess making, in my learning. Okay, so I'm going to lay the skewers down for a moment. My hands are, of course, filthy, but again, my fault for not donning the gloves. Getting a little excited about the video process and losing my focus. We should call this Virgin Videos. This is my first video. Okay, I see a little white space over here that needs to be addressed. So let me scoop up a little more paint that's fallen onto the paper towel here and just sort of dab a little along this low bottom edge here. That's the great thing about using the push pins, is that you are able to work along the edge, and it really gives it a nice way of reaching it without making a big mess and getting it all stuck on your paper towels. Okay, so I really am loving what I'm seeing here. I think I'm going to torch one more time, which is not uncommon for me, just depending on what's developing on the paper or on the canvas here. So one more quick torch, and let's see what we have to look at then. Reach in one more spot. I keep seeing spots, and of course everything on the surface is moving around. That's part of the beauty of the silicone, and that's what you want to be happening, but it does lead to the need to go back and correct a spot or two here and there. So just expect that. It's normal. It's what you're going to see happening most of the time. All right, so another quick torching here. So the torch is nice because it has an on and off button on the side. And then you just twist it. You can hear the gas coming out, the butane I should say. You don't have to hold the button down, which is something it took me a couple of uses to figure out. Once you turn it on, it's on. Of course, it's still hot on the tip when you set it down for a couple minutes, so you want to be careful. Make sure you're not going to have this where little kiddos or anybody is going to be having access to touching the tip of it, including me. So I always make sure I set it to the side and point it opposite away from me. Okay, I'm trying to get a little bit more here, and it does help to release those bubbles in there. So another couple of quick passes over this. Man, I am loving the colors in there. I got some beautiful brown colors, kind of this caramely colors you can see in here that I've developed, and that's from the blending of the purple and the purple and the yellow. It's going to give you a really nice brown. The reason is that purple is red and blue, and when you mix 3 primaries, you will get some form of brown, which is great. If you're actually painting a portrait, you want to do skin tones, what have you, that's your first step to making skin tones. Is the 3 primaries, mixing in whatever one you need the most of to bring out that skin tone, and of course blending with whites as needed to lighten or darken. It's really awesome to know, and something I teach in my classroom when we do portraits. This is a handy thing. I haven't actually used it in my kitchen yet, although I've had one years ago that was used in the kitchen for creme brulee. Browning the top of creme brulee, which is fun. My husband went on a creme brulee kick, perfecting it. And I ate so much creme brulee for a couple of months there that I really haven't had any since then. And that's been about a decade and a half ago. So sometimes you just get enough of something, don't you? So I think you can see that this is lovely. I hope you can see all the beautiful colors in it that are coming out. Now there's areas where there's less cell development. There's areas where there's more cell development. I'm actually quite happy with that because I think it gives the eye areas to rest. I love this line in here that's kind of developed. And you can see when I poured kind of around in a circle and then scraped out into the center. And so, you know, you never do the same thing twice. It never works out the same twice, which is part of the joy of this. So you have to be kind of a little bit less of a control freak to do these. Although, of course, you're going to learn things as you go, so you have a little bit more experience, and you'll get to know what to expect more of. See a little bitty spot there? That needs just a little dab of purple in it. So I'm just going to reach in my purple tub and just do a little purple right there. That's why I like to leave just the tiniest bit of paint in my tubs so that I can go access it and do some of these touches that need to be happening. There's some places that just need a little something. Like I said, it keeps separating and going, and you'll figure that out as you go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, I use Deco Art Premium Tube Paints. They're a little 2.5 ounce size. Got them from Michael's. And the Liquitex Clear Gesso and Pouring Medium. And then a little bit of this only in the gesso. 2 drops or so of each. And then a good stir on all of them. And the pouring medium went into the paints to give them a nice thin consistency, not watery, but barely ribboning and even out almost immediately. I'm loving the effect of these 4 colors. And again, the white from the white gesso base is showing through, and I love it. Well, thank you for viewing. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. This is Sheilah, and I'm going to be making more videos. This is video number 1, my virgin attempt at video recording. Have a great day.